Yo, what's up guys, Jack here, and today I'm bringing you some Doom single player gameplay. I went down to the Bethesda offices in London last week, and for some reason they actually let me play this game for a bit and also record what I was doing. This is the PS4 version of the game. It runs at 1080p, 60 FPS, and also something that really surprised me, which really a lot more console games should be doing. In the options you can adjust the field of view. Absolute madness, top marks for that, and also you can turn the motion blur off if you want to, or adjust the strength of it. I'm not really a big fan of motion blur when I'm gaming. It looks cinematic and all for videos, but in terms of gameplay, yeah, I'm not a fan. You can disable the chromatic aberration effect too if you want. That's the red, green, blue tinge you see sometimes on the outside of things. I just thought this was all pretty sweet considering this is a console game, because you never really get that sort of option in other games, so a thumbs up for that. So I spent about an hour and a half playing through 2 missions of the game, and I have to say it's very refreshing and satisfying to play a single player game like this. It's just nice to play a shooter that's like, hey, you know what, this is an FPS game, come on, it's Doom. So what you're going to do is kill lots and lots of stuff with weapons that look cool, and it's going to be hard. I was playing this on the Hurt Me Plenty difficulty, which is basically normal mode, and I died like 4 or 5 times completing the 2 missions. I'm not an excellent console player though, so I would have done better on PC with a mouse and keyboard, but on PS4 it was certainly a challenge from time to time. The level you're seeing here is about halfway through the game apparently, and I've got pretty much all of the weapons at my disposal because they gave me them with the dev cheat, as well as plenty of glory kills too. The glory kills aren't just for show either. If you kill an enemy with a glory kill, that's when they're glowing orange kind of, and you do a sync animation, normally involving punching someone's head off, you'll actually get more health back. And it also ties into the perk system, which we'll get onto later in the video. They're pretty fast animations too, and don't break the game up, which is always nice to see. It's just got that old school Doom Serious Sam vibe to it, where you'll blast through a corridor of relatively low level scrubs, no reloading, you just keep on the move, and then you'll enter more of an arena area which is locked down until you manage to beat the waves of ever increasing in difficulty hell demons that want to rip your face off. And these parts of the game are kind of like mini multiplayer maps, I suppose, where you're going to be circle strafing, jumping, picking up power-ups like quad damage and haste, and really desperately attempting to switch to your super shotgun when your rocket launcher ammo inevitably runs dry. Now there is a story element in here too, which is told through holograms you'll see on your travels, but if you want to completely ignore that and just blast away, you're more than welcome to do that and skip ahead to the next section of the level. I really like that. Like, I can't stand games which force you to sit through story when you just want to move along. Maybe you like the gameplay but you're kind of disinterested with the story, that's fine, and really I think you should always be given that option. Now what surprised me here is that the weapons in this game actually have upgrade trees and mods. I didn't see this coming. I thought with it being Doom that each gun you find would just be as is, but there's a surprising amount of depth to the customization here. So with the normal shotgun, for example, you can choose between going down a grenade launcher path or a triple burst path, or the heavy assault rifle, do you want to put a mini rocket station on the side? Well, if you've got the points to spend, you can do that. It looked like each weapon had 2 different mods available. You can switch them on the fly and they become your secondary fire. Here I had the lock-on rocket launcher for my secondary fire, and on the minigun, this absolutely ludicrous triple barrel thing that spits out some serious lead. It just minces everything in the room. And on top of this, you can also choose to upgrade your character stats with Praetor points, and you find these scattered around the level on dead marines that have come in before you. You'll normally find them in secret areas, and there are a lot of those in the game too. You'll get like a checklist at the end of the level to show how many you've found. Some of the secret areas contain these challenges too, and if you complete them, you'll unlock runes which give perks to your character, like if you activate a power-up, for example, your health is topped up to the maximum, or when a power-up ends, an explosive shockwave is expelled from your character. Now stuff like this I think is going to be absolutely pivotal in completing the game on the harder difficulty levels, The hardest difficulty level in the game is called Ultra Nightmare, and in it there are no checkpoints throughout the whole of the game. And I asked, and apparently the average length is between 12 to 14 hours. And if you die once on Ultra Nightmare mode, you go back to the start of the game. It's going to be really interesting to see who manages to complete that first when the game releases, and also how they built and balanced their characters' stats and perks with health, armor and ammo, or even like what weapon upgrades did they choose, what ended up being the most effective for that difficulty. Wrapping things up now, from what I played, I had a lot of fun, and as I said, it just goes back to that simple FPS roots formula of throwing bad guys at you, and you've got to figure out what the best tactics are for beating them and moving on through the level. Also, I asked a little bit about the PC version of the game, and that will have advanced options in the full release that were missing from the beta, stuff like field of view and unlimited frame rate, which is of course very important for the PC crowd. My only concern with the single player is that I hope the environments are varied enough and there are plenty of different enemies thrown at you throughout the game to keep you guessing as to what the best strategies are at beating them. Bosses too. I know there are lots of bosses in the game, but I want to see lots of variation there and bosses with multiple attacks that you kind of have to work out, like maybe in an MMO for example. So there we go guys, I hope you enjoyed this footage. I'll probably be doing a walkthrough of this or streaming it live, one of the two, because I really enjoy it and I think it makes cool content to watch, especially as it's a bit of a challenge on the harder difficulties. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, whack that thumbs up button. If you didn't, thumbs down. I promise I won't cry. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.